Thank you for joining me on Divine Encounters. I am Dominique Rivera, your host, the Oracle of Apollo, and today I have a special supernatural story time for you. But first, I always invite you to have some water next to you during this feed because you will be not just watching a passive viewing experience, but an interactive experience where your energy will be shifting, and so you will need water. And of course, I am the Aquarius, the water bearer, and I toast to your health as always. Oh man, I am really excited about this. But first, before we get into any of the nitty gritty, normally every Wednesday night I bring you a supernatural storytime episode with a different guest. However, this week I actually went through something so spectacular that I decided that I would just be telling you my story today. But before we get into anything, make sure that you like this page that this is coming off of. That way you get notified every time I live stream. I live stream every Sunday night and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And if you enjoy and resonate these conversations that we have, please join my free group. Right here, meetup.com/awakened Philadelphia. And every Wednesday night, you have the opportunity to win a personal channeled angel blessings from your angels. And all you have to do is share this feed, arrive Wednesday night, of course, and then email me with the subject title, Ask the Oracle, and screenshot this right here, Divine Encounters at E360 TV. And right now I'm looking for partnering sponsors. So if you have a service or an item or a commercial that you want to promote here on the E360 TV network that streams across 33 million people worldwide, feel free to email me again. And here it is, just in case you want to screenshot that. And today I actually am bringing you somebody very special to hear. It is the creator of my physical existence, my mom. And Miss Cindy is going to be coming on here because I refuse to tell her the story about my ceremony and invited her on the show so that way she can just be mom and ask the questions that she wants to ask, and also let you guys know everything that is happening with that. So let's get her on, yeah? There you are.
Hi, nice to be on your show.
Thanks for being here, Mom.
For having me. I'm excited about tonight.
Yes, especially since I refuse to give you any details at all about anything that I just went through. And so this is the first time my mom's hearing this story. And if I'm looking a little different to you guys today, I am now live streaming on the Sony a6000 cam. So hopefully it looks okay. I haven't figured all the things about it out yet. But yeah, so we're here for that. And hi, Sherry. Thank you for being here. And if you guys can put hearts and candles in the comment section below, that way we can amplify this stream with love and light as well. So, Mom, thanks for being here, like I said. And before I get into any kind of supernatural story time, we like to do what? Mom, you're a veteran, so let me know what you think what do you think we're about to do right now before we get into the story?
Apollo game.
No, the good news.
The good news.
The good news.
Of course.
What's good? All right, we're coming into the good news here, which is the current energies of the week. We are in Wednesday Hump Day. And the card here is from the Starseed Oracle deck. It is from, who is this from? Rebecca Campbell and Daniel Knoll. And the card today is Lifting the Veil. Questioning everything and anything unaligned must go. Things aren't always as they seem. This era is one of uncovering mistruths so we can remember ancient truths. Everything is in a state of recall and realignment. Anything that isn't in harmony with the planet will not survive. This goes for society and the world at large, as well as in our own lives. Pulling this card today is because you are being called to energetically scan your life for things you may no longer be a vibrational match for who you are and how you've grown. To dismantle the systems and in ways of being that once served you and others, but no longer do. Some star seeds are here to lift the veil between the seen and the unseen worlds. to shine a light on things that are inauthentic or unaligned with the survival and well-being of Earth, to stand for and protect those who don't have a voice, to look deeper and question everything that previous generations did not. Some starseeds cannot tolerate things that aren't congruent. They're here to bring society and humanity back into harmony with the planet and the creator at large. If we tolerate things in our life that aren't in alignment and congruent with it, we add to the misalignment of the entire planet. You are being called to trust yourself. Notice what's out of alignment and then take the baby steps required to bring in back harmony. This is no easy feat, but it is worthwhile, both individually and for the planet. And that's the good news. Okay, let's bring Miss Cindy back on here and get rid of this one. So this actually comes and poses a question for all of you today. So I want you to actually ask yourself right now and then answer this in the comment. I think this is really fun. It's what's incongruent in your life? What isn't congruent in your life? How are you being called to bring back harmony into your life? And I guess I posed that question for you today, Mom, Cindy. Don't put your name down here, Mom. So what do you think is not in alignment with your life that you want to move? And I'll give you guys opportunity at home to kind of give yourself a little brain jog here and put that in the comment section below.
Well, what I want to move is, I think we got to be more connected here with the earth and with everything that's going on right now. So I think we got to keep sending good energy to the earth and to each other. And that's my little part of what I'm trying to do on a daily basis.
I agree. And I feel like what isn't congruent in my life right now is just making sure that I take all the responsibility for me and myself, my actions, my emotions, and my thoughts. So that's where I'm at right now. So what about you guys at home? What do you feel like is not in alignment in your life right now? Go ahead. Don't be afraid to put it in the comment section below. It's just a mental exercise that we're doing here. And so basically we're here today because I'm going to tell you guys about my ayahuasca ceremony. And I do not perform these ceremonies. These are ceremonies that I took part of. So I went to Google, and wrote down what Google says ayahuasca is, just for you guys at home can understand exactly what we're talking about today. So it is made from leaves of a Psychitria viridis shrub with stalks of Banisteropis and capivine, though other ingredients are added. I don't know if I pronounce those things right. It's okay, though. The drink was used in spiritual and religious purposes by ancient Amazonian tribes and by some religions and communities in Brazil and Peru and North America, including Santo Daime. The ingredients above have hallucinogenic properties to them, but the plants contain a substance called DMT, and that stands for dimethyltryptamine. The combination of the plants can create an out-of-body experience, visions, euphoria, and altered states of consciousness. And this is administered through a shaman who has trained with these ancient lineages, and then he creates the beverage and then gives it to you in a religious ceremony. And you go into this kind of like with an intention of healing. The shaman that I spoke with, we're going to just call him shaman. We're not going to give him any names. The shaman that I spoke with said that he had experienced people who had instantaneous healing, like someone had a tear in their shoulder and the muscles actually healed themselves, or people who are healed from cancer, autonomic nervous central system issues, depression, and all of these things can be assisted with this brew. And so I went because some of you guys know that I have a condition called POTS, posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and this is affected by my central nervous system. So I wanted to go and do a healing for this to see if, is that you, Mom? To see if I can get a healing for this, to see if we can go ahead and alleviate some more symptoms that I have. And I've come a long way. For those of you who don't know my story, you can check out my story, my bio, in howwellness.com. I was not able to care for myself at all. I couldn't brush my own hair, brush my teeth, bathe myself. And if I could walk 10 feet, that was actually a lot. And so it's been a couple years that I have been working on myself. And through Reiki, through pilgrimages, me and Mom, we went to Brazil, and we went with the healer John of God, and that assisted further in my healing. And so it has been an absolute journey. Hello, Angelo. Thanks for being here. So let me tell you a little bit about how this got set up, the preparation, and then we'll get into what actually happened. So the preparation for this was you had to get off all of your medicine. So whatever medicines that you were on, you had to stop, and because there's contraindications, because certain medicines and certain chemicals actually could kill you in combination with taking this medicine from the shaman. So it was very important that your system was clean of everything. So the first week I got off coffee. There was no chicken. I wound up getting rid of all my steroid medicines that I'm on. So it was something. I had withdrawal. It was very difficult. And then the second week is when you go into the special shamanic dieta. And this is different because in the shamanic dieta, now you're actually purging everything from your diet. So I wound up just eating yuca with no salt, nothing, just plain, just leaves of spinach, nothing, no salad dressing. We weren't allowed to have salt, oil. What was the other one, Mom? Salt, oil, sugar, anything refined. Everything had to be raw, okay? So nothing. I'm telling you, it was a sad week for my mouth. It was a sad week for my mouth. And funny thing was, my mom's doing the food part right now, and you can just have a little bit of natural food and you're full. It's like you don't even really need anything. And this is really for the fact of to show how much willpower you have. So it's like a test of endurance, a test of will. And so you go through this, and that way also your body is ready to receive the medicine when it comes through. All right, so skipping ahead through all of that, right, Mom? And I go ahead, and I make my pilgrimage to the shaman, and I get there. It's in the evening because this is a medicine administered at nighttime. And so we sit down and we talk for a little bit about what my intention is for going forward with this healing. And I had two intentions. My first intention was of healing, as you guys know. And then my second one was for my purpose, to align me more with my purpose in my life. And so we went up into a very special room, a very sacred space, and it was beautiful. It had candles in it. It smelled beautiful. The energy was so light and airy. And there was just no doubt in my mind that the space was so energetically charged. The moment I went in, it was like walking through a wall of energy, and it was really beautiful. And as soon as the shaman sat down to just speak to me, just preparing me with the steps that we're about to go through, I saw his ancestors. This is before we even did anything. I saw his ancestors. I'm aligning both sides of him. And I'm just like, I'm listening to his directions, but I'm just like, but do you know you have that person right there next to you? You know? So he has something called mapacho, and it's a sacred tobacco used in Peru. And it basically helps align you with the ayahuasca plant spirit. Ayahuasca is thought to be a mother, like a mother energy that is invoked in, and that she brings you reprogramming of your body through all of these sacred images that she puts inside of you. So this is how it started. He went ahead. He's like, okay, once I start, there's no more small talk, no more talking. He leaves. He comes back in his shaman gear, and he starts smoking the mapacho. And he's blowing it into a pipe. He's going to all the corners of the room, blowing it. And then he comes to me. And when he comes towards me, I'm already, my hand's on the wall at this point because, you know, I feel the energy. So I'm like holding on to the wall, like it's going to get more intense. You know, we didn't even start yet, you know? And so I'm holding onto the wall, and then he comes and he holds my head and he pulls my head down and he blows the smoke over my head and my crown. And I just go, wow. It was like I just got a some kind of like relaxation, peace energy in my head. And then he blows it on me, and I could just feel myself clear instantly. So he finishes, and then he's like, he grabs like these leaves he has, and they're like these Amazonian leaves. And when you shake them, they make music and he sings to you all night. And this is called the Icaros. And this is like a special prayer that he does, an ancient prayer that he does over you. It's in a different language. It kind of sounds like Spanish, but it's in a different language. So he puts on this soundtrack of his teacher doing the Icaros. So you just hear the Amazonian forest in the background, right, happening. And the room he turns off the light, and it's like a sensory deprivation type thing. So there's no light at all, and you're just there. And then there's a candle on. He gets his little station ready, and I go over to him. Then the shaman on the soundtrack starts to get ready, and you can hear him setting things up, although you can't see anything, right? And then he's like, okay, I'm going to call in the plant spirit. So then he comes over to me, and he starts to go, Ayahuasca medicina. And he starts to have this little cadence with a very specific little whistle that he does. And as he's doing that, he has a special alcohol perfume that he has. And then he puts it in his mouth, and he spits it on your crown, and then he spits it into your heart space. And then he calls in the mother plant in. And as he's calling the mother plant in, I'm just like, it's just getting intense. The room, it feels like it's filled with thousands of ancestors from all points and places in time. You know, the energy is just like building up. And I'm just like, whoa, what is happening here? So then I crawl over to him, and he starts to pour this brew into a tiny little cup. And he says, do not sip this. It does not taste good. It is not wine. You're going to just one and done, right? Just one and done. So I grabbed the brew with the most humbleness that I could. And as I'm saying this, I feel energy coming in. And with the most humbleness and gratitude that I could. And I invite the spirit into me, and I put it in my mouth and I chug it. The brew tasted like if someone went outside, took some dirt from the ground, put it in a cup, took an ashtray, put the ashes into the cup, and it was grinds all in the bottom. Okay. And then you chug it, and that's what it tasted like. It tasted like I was just licking an ashtray, and I had dirt inside for extra zest. So the thing was, he was at the bottom of his jar, so it had gotten really concentrate. And he was like, I was watching this jar all week and noticed that it was towards the bottom. And I was like, oh, you're in for a treat. And I was like, oh, I bet that's really concentrated. So because there was a little bit of grit left, or whatever you want to call it, grinds at the bottom, he poured a little more. So I took a cup and a third, and I drank that. And then he's like, this is going to take an hour. So I go to the corner, and then I sit. And for an hour, I'm just there trying to calm my mind. I have a sleeping bag laid out on the floor with a little mat underneath the floor. And I'm just trying to calm myself, and I'm listening to the Peruvian, the Amazonian sounds. And the shaman, he starts to sing his Icaro. So he's shaking his, and he's making like this whistle sound. I can't whistle. He's making this whistle sound, and he starts saying these words. And as he's saying the words, I'm going like this. I don't know the words, but I start like bouncing. And then the time is going. I'm like, is it something going to happen? Like, am I just going to just sit here? It's been like, it felt like forever. And man, what I was in a treat for. But before we get into this next part and I start talking to you about my divine experience, let's have a divine experience of our own. Yes? And if this is your first time seeing this show, The Divine Experience is where I invite you to recharge and revitalize your own energy in 1 minute. And you're going to see this now, okay? So everybody that's watching, go to the comment section right now and be really honest with yourself. 1, this is the lowest amount of energy I could have today. 10 being, this is the most amount of energy I could have, period. Where are you at energetically today before we go into this 1 minute segment? And how about you, Miss Cindy? Where are you at in from 1 to 10? I'm going to say I'm at like a 8.6.
I'm going to say an 8.
You're at a good 8.
Yes.
So how about you guys at home? Put it in the comment section below. It's important to put it in the comment section because it lets you have a control number so you know exactly where you're at energetically and how this helps you in this next minute. Erica is at a 4 right now, not feeling well today. Oh, I'm sorry, friend. I hope you feel better after this minute. Okay, so I invite you to put the phone down or release everything from your hands, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to be closing your eyes in just 1 second. Latima is at a 7 today. Thank you, Latima. And go ahead and put me down, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to call in the angels, guys. Send them
Divine encounters align. Divine encounters, our life's design.
All right, eyes closed. 1 minute exactly on the clock. And we're going to go ahead and just breathe into our spine. Beautiful golden light all the way down into the spinal cord. And then on the exhale, you're releasing what no longer serves you. The story here does not matter. Breathing in. Now breathe beautiful golden light into your heart space. And on the exhale, you're releasing the story. The label does not matter. On the next breath in, you're going to breathe right in between your eyebrows, the third eye, the seat of your intuition. And on the exhale, you're going to release what no longer serves you. On the next inhale, you're going to breathe into the crown, the top of your head. And on the exhale, you're going to release what no longer serves you. One more breath in, bringing beautiful, luminous, golden light through the entire body. Let it emanate through your entire body. It is going beyond your physical body, bringing you balance, stability, and love. And one last long exhale out. Bring your palms together, touching in front of your heart space. And I bow to all of you and namaste. You can reopen your eyes now and coming back to the here and the now. And now that you have been charged for that 1 minute of energy, go ahead in the comment section below and let me know where you're at. Did you shift at all? What did you feel? Did you feel temperature changes, pressure, of discomfort, lights? What did you see, hear, feel, sense? Any memories come up? And put it in the comment section below now. And Miss Cindy, where are you at?
I'm at a 10. I feel
You're at
very
a 10.
relaxed.
Very relaxed. 10 across the board. 10 party. 10 party. 10 party. All right. How about you guys at home? How are you feeling? I'm at 9.4 and I'm still climbing, and I can feel block being removed too. It presented itself as a little bit of pressure in my head and a little bit of discomfort. Let's see what Miss Erica has to say here. I do feel a shift. I saw white light at my crown and heard rest my child. Oh, that is beautiful. I mean, that's really what we can ask for, right? Luce is at a 20. Yes. Ladama went up 1 point to an 8. And Luce is at a 10. So thank you for playing that here, guys. I appreciate you. Okay, so now coming into my next part of my story, I'm here now, and now it's 1 hour. It is 1 hour, and I know it. And he says, the shaman says, okay, the ceremony's beginning. And all of a sudden, he starts singing even more, with more gusto. He starts singing with more energy, and you are so welcome. And his teacher on his recording is also singing with a lot of energy. And I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, I start getting really mild visuals of sparkles and like hearts all over, like little heart emojis all over my eye screens. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see something, mild visuals happening. But as the shaman on the tape and him started keep singing, it was like every time they got more excited, the energy in the room would build up and build up and build up. And I started seeing stronger visuals. I first started to see the Egyptian pyramids. And it was like sacred geometry all across. So if you could imagine hundreds of Merkabahs or thousands of Merkabahs all across everything, but forming pyramids. And then I saw the sun come in. And when I saw the sun come in, I said, oh, that's my friend Apollo. So I'm okay. I'm in good company. That's my friend. I literally said it just like that. But then the music's going faster and faster and faster. And the room started to spin and started to spin. And before my ceremony, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to drink water, but I drank copious amounts of water before my ceremony. And so I began to purge. As soon as he opened, the ceremony is on, I began to purge. So that was me releasing energetically what no longer serves me, but plus I had tons of water in my stomach. So when I purged, there was just water coming out. But the moment I finished purging in that opening part of the ceremony, all of a sudden I could feel this beautiful energy come into me. And it was like euphoria, peace, happiness. It felt like someone just came and embraced me. And then I went and I laid down on my sleeping bag, and I put my sweater under my head, and I just kind of lay there because I felt like I was just being loved so strongly. And then my ancestors, I started to see them coming up, and it looked like a woman who was like a native, and she was just smiling at me. She had beautiful dark skin, beautiful dark eyes, and thick, beautiful, luscious hair, and she is just smiling at me. And I asked her what her name was, and she didn't say it, but I knew her name was Sunshine in whatever way the language was for her. But I knew her name was Sunshine. And then so I began to see her just kind of like walk around with me. And I asked her, do you know what my purpose is? And I felt like I was just asking everybody, do you know what my purpose is? And nobody was answering. I'm like, okay, fine. No one's going to answer me. I'm just going to sit here and like not have any clue what's going on. So as time went on, I saw more visuals. And what I saw earlier in the week as I was working on myself, and I told my mom about this, is that I discovered, because I work with energy, guys, so I discovered that my L7 and my L3 were not illuminated. And essentially, if you could imagine the outside of marshmallow after you burn it, completely black, those two vertebrae in my spine were not illuminated. And so I had went in with the intention of healing those. And suddenly I saw a hand come in, and it took a little stick, and the little stick kind of came in real gentle. You ever see anybody get a cast removed from their nose? That they kind of like push behind the fabric and then peel away the cast. It was like they went behind my spine and then peeled away that burnt marshmallow looking thing from the L7, and it revealed a white vertebrae. And I have injuries as I've had accidents and things. I've had a lot of accidents. And then my L3, they went to the L3 and then they did the same. And all of a sudden, my whole spine, I could see my whole spine in front of me, illuminated, completely white. It was like if I got my spine bleached, like when someone gets their teeth bleached. So it was like my spine was bleached. And all of a sudden, as I'm looking at this beautifully white spine, I started to see this spiraling violet energy start to come up the spinal column. And it was the violet flame, and it engulfed and spun around each one. And then it's like time slowed down. It was like I was floating in space, and it was like slow motion coming into my spine. And as I'm watching this, I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. You know, like this is what I'm here for. This is the healing that is happening for me. And so it wound up going all the way up to the top of the head, on top of the crown. And then everything just went black. And I'm just like, whoa, everything is just black. And I'm sitting there like, what's about to happen next? And as everything is black, I hear the shaman still singing in the background. And my thoughts, I feel like my thoughts are trying to distract me, and I'm trying to calm myself down because I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about that. And all these thoughts are kind of just flooding into me. But then in this blackness, all of a sudden, I wound up seeing, I'm trying to remember the order. In the blackness, I started to see this spark, more like universe. It was like universe. And I was just floating in universe, in space. And I saw Hermes, but as Thoth, the Egyptian god of knowledge. And as I see him with his beak. He's that bird god in Egyptian times. And I see him with his beak. And then he disappears. And now all of a sudden I'm transported into like a Peruvian or Amazonian place. And I have this little pink hat on and this ceremonial pink robe. And I look like a shaman, but from ancient times. And I'm sitting on a very primitive chair made of like bamboo and like branches and things, or like leaves and things. And in one hand, I have a crook, which is, if you look at the pharaohs, they have this like cane, but it has like a little swoop at the end of the cane. In one hand, I have the crook, and then in the other hand, I have a feather. And then a woman comes by me, and she grabs my hair. And she grabs my hair, and she starts to braid into my hair. she starts to braid this feather into my hair. And as she's braiding this feather into my hair, I see myself holding, on the other hand, a feather. So I'm here with the crook and the feather. And the way I look, though, it was like an emperor or a king. I was very royal. It was very royal. And I was just not even saying anything, but just my presence alone was just commanding. It was just commanding. And I was just looking around the room, holding these two items, and just my presence. It was just like, wow. It was just like an intensity behind this gaze, behind this presence. It was like if you walked into a king's room, he's going to have a certain demeanor. And in this moment, I was carrying that demeanor. And I felt kind of like it was showing me different facets of past lives, past lives in Egypt, past lives as Indian, and or connecting to my ancestors, and shamanism. And I felt like all of these things were kind of just being melded together. And then I saw myself being cleansed and just cleansed and cleansed. And then Tho came back, but he didn't come back right away. I started to see spirals and a lot of beautiful shapes that I couldn't even describe, and vibrant colors. I saw gems and jewels. And if you ever look at those very ornate ancient Egyptian artifacts with all of those gems and jewels, it looked like that. And so those things were being put in front of me, but then everything went black again. And all of a sudden a vortex opened, and it was of light, and it just spun and spun and spun. And all these beautiful lights came in. I was absorbed through, and I left my body. And I was absorbed through this light and then brought into a nothingness, a void, where nothing and everything was simultaneously in the same place at once. And I was like, whoa, like, what is this? And then Tho came back out, or Thoth came back out. And as he walked in front of me, he showed me this big cosmic eye. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's like just like the one eye. And it is basically being created by stars and space. And he pulls back this veil that is within that eye. And as he pulls it back, what I see are a long row of tablets. And I'm looking in there like, whoa, those are a lot of tablets. And I understood in that moment, because he telepathically was communicating with me, that they were the book, the green emerald tablets of Tho, which he wrote in the mysteries, in the Tho mysteries. And so what happened then, if you ever seen the Matrix where all those numbers just start to come down, what happened then was all of a sudden this light opened, and I saw myself downloading the books or the tablets into my third eye. It was like seeing Sanskrit words in a language I've never seen. And I just saw rows and columns of these words coming into me and coming into me and coming into me. And then everything just started swirling and swirling. And I could feel myself absorbing all of this beautiful energy coming into my body. And in that moment, I think I just left. I was so far, so deep that I left. And I wasn't even there. I had no recollection of who I was. And after that, I'm going to pause for a second. Mom, you've been quiet for such a long time. Is there anything you want to ask? Or is there anything you guys want to ask? You put it in the comment section right now. I'm going to take a drink of water.
I'm just amazed with the story. I'm just taking it all in. So I'm going to let you continue with your story.
Okay. Thanks, Mom. Okay. So finally, I feel like I'm screaming into this infinite space. What is my purpose? Align me with my purpose. Why is no one answering me? Please answer me. And so I'm like, calling out into every aspect of where I am at. Please show me, align me. I'm here for service. And so all of a sudden in the dark, I saw, like in the Wizard of Oz, I saw a yellow brick road, and it curved down. And I'm looking at this yellow brick road. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm following the yellow brick road. And so I get on this, right? I know, right? And so I get on the yellow brick road, and I have this big basket. But instead of Toto being in my basket, I actually had my ancestors were on my side, and they started putting breads and fruits and foods and grain inside of my basket. And I felt like this was symbolic of a pilgrimage, of of sending me on my way. You're on your way. And then as I'm going on my way, the scenery changes. The scenery just completely changes. And I see, like, ahead of me, a hot spring. But inside the hot spring, you'll see all the steam and all the vapor coming up. And it's white mud or white clay inside of the hot spring. So I know it's very rich in mineral. So I'm led to this place. But as I enter into this hot spring, I see that I have this huge pregnant belly. I mean, it's so big that it is like I have a planet or something inside of my stomach. And so I'm looking down, and as I look at the belly, I can see movement inside, like the pressing of the hands and the feet against the skin of the belly. And I'm witnessing this. And then one of the ancestors comes over, and then she starts to pour water on top and over my head. And so I'm in this space like, wow, what is happening? But I felt like in this moment, it was kind of like I didn't need to know exactly what it was that they were aligning me with, because I've had so many synchronicities that have been leading me up to something grand happening for me soon. And but me asking, it was not needed, because seeing and witnessing the belly for me was like, it looked nine months pregnant or more. But witnessing it, it was kind of like you're almost there, like you're so close, like there's no point of us telling you, because you're just so very close. You know what I mean? So they didn't ever say exactly what it was, but I know that I respected it enough where it was like, I understand, I see where you're going with this, and I'm not going to ask any more about this, because I see that I'm in alignment with it already, and that I'm about to burst. I'm about to have that creation moment. Erica says that she's been on her ancestral journey as well. I know that I have been told I was a shaman. My question is, how did you find or meet your shaman? I have been looking for one for a long time. And I feel like it's kind of like one of those things, like when the student is ready, the teacher appears type thing. But Erica, I will talk to you on the side about that later. Yes. And so he came to me, and I finally found him. And that's basically how it was. It was one of those synchronized events. So coming towards the end of the experience, I started to, I think I fell asleep, or I was just so far away that I wasn't there. But I don't think I was actually asleep, because even after the ceremony, I couldn't sleep at all. I was up to like 7 a.m. But all of a sudden, there was all of these snakes starting to wrap around me. Snakes everywhere, just wrapping around me. And if you're afraid of snakes, you shouldn't be for this instance, because snakes are the symbol of knowledge. They're the keepers of knowledge. And so them wrapping around me actually felt very safe. It didn't feel scary at all. And I just let them. Go wherever they wanted to go. And then as the night went on, and I kept seeing all these beautiful sacred geometric shapes, I couldn't even describe them to you. Then I saw my life partner with me. And it was just like a beautiful moment of love and joy and unity and sacred union between both of us, and so much immense love that was coming between both of us in that moment. And I just felt at peace with my life partner and with the universe in that moment. Before I get too far away from the pregnancy thing, though, the very next day when I came home and I was in the bath, I was laying in the bath and I blinked. Okay, I blinked. But sometimes there's these, like a shutter speed on a camera. Sometimes the shutter speed goes so slow, you actually catch a lot in between the light. And so what I caught was I started to bleed. And I was like, whoa, what is that? And then I heard telepathically that the moment of birth, it was upon me. So I'm already now in that process currently of birthing what it is. And I won't say more about what it is I think exactly it is right now, because I've spoken to some people the last few nights and it has been amazing, and I'm going to leave that for another time. But it was just absolutely amazing. And so towards the end of the ceremony, he kept smoking. Well, actually, through the ceremony, he kept smoking that mapacho. And every time he smoked it, it was like it built up the energy inside of me, and I wanted to purge, but nothing ever came up. I just felt like it just intensified everything. And mind you, when you're purging into the bucket and you're releasing all the negativity from your body, it's sitting in that bucket. So I started to overheat, and I went to go wet myself. And when I came back to the area I was in, I could feel the negativity of the bucket inside the bucket. And it was overwhelming. It was like stagnant and nasty. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe this is purging from me. And so I thought that was very interesting to go, because it's like when I first entered that room, it was beautiful and light and there was energy moving. And then as the night continued and more came out, well, not more and more, because I only purged in the beginning so far. It was just sitting there, and the energy in the room was stagnant and still and thick. And yes, it was absolutely insane, because it's like going back and willingly walking and putting yourself back into dirty clothes. You know what I mean? It's like, I put new clothes on. Let's go back over there and put the clothes from the hamper on, kind of thing. And so ceremony was coming to a close, and he blew the mapacho one more time. And before he said ceremony is closing, I purged a little bit more, but it was like the tiniest little bit. Like it was nothing. It was like spit. It was just spit. And then he's like, ceremony is closed. And it was like literally in the moment it opened and the moment it closed is when all the energy just ramped up and ramped up. And yeah, and that was that. That was that. And it closed. And then afterwards, we had to talk about it. And I shared with him everything that I'm sharing with you guys now. And then I asked him what he was working on for me. And he said that he was working on my legs mostly, because, well, he didn't actually say why, but I have circulation problems because of the POTS. And what happens is my blood pools in my legs. So when I go from sitting to standing or laying to standing, I can pass out. But if I tie my shoe, or if I pick something up off the floor, or if I just look down real quick and look back up, it's the same thing. Everything sits because gravity can't go back. Well, gravity takes my blood down and doesn't allow it to come back through my system. So he was working on that, and I thought that was very interesting in alignment with that. Coming back home this last week, I haven't really been able to have any kind of sugar, salt, caffeine, nothing. And I tried. The day I came back home, I thought, let me go have a soup, because my stomach was just spinning. Everything was just spinning inside of me. And I drank the soup and my throat closed up all the way. This is the same day I came home, and it hurt so bad. It went in my ears. Like the pressure in my ears was really strong. And I was like, whoa, I wonder if it was because it was chicken soup, because I hadn't had any meat for 2 weeks. And so the next day I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a miso soup. So I went and I got miso soup, and the same thing, my throat closed. It was so painful. So it was like, no salt. You can't have any salt afterwards at all. Even though he said I could go back to a normal diet, it was just like, no, my body refused to intake salt. And I reacted. Yesterday, I broke out into hives around my chest. And I forgot what I ate yesterday. But it's like your body's like, no, these things were toxic for you. Stop putting them back into your body. And so today I ate plain. I didn't put anything on anything today. And my body was happy, and it was delicious, actually. All last week, I was counting down the days till I could get some flavor back in my mouth. And today it was just like plain chicken, no salt, no pepper, zero, nothing. I made yams, carrots, and broccoli, and I charred them, put nothing on them, and air fried them. So no oils, nothing. And my body was just really happy to have those things. So, you know, this is a process. It's not like a one and done. And the day I came home and the following day, remember those white bones I told you guys that I saw that I had in my body? That day I came home, and the next day, the bones in my knees and my legs, the place that he was working on, were so painful. It felt like they were breaking. My knees, my hips all the way down felt like they were breaking. And when I looked inside myself to see, they were just wider and whiter and wider. So I know they feel so much better now, but I know this is part of the healing process. So yeah, questions, comments, concerns, Mom.
I sit in front of you again as a student. I am amazed on this journey that you just had, and I'm glad you went through it. The story is just amazing, all of it. But my thought over here on the side was, I thought because you are a medium and because you are the Oracle of Apollo, in my mind, I thought, well, maybe she would show up and she will lead you like also the way she normally does, like something like, you know.
Well, I don't want this to get lost because Eduardo said the same thing. This was for me. This healing was for me. He thought I would have some kind of global epiphany, but this was for me. And I want to state that Though and the emerald tablets, these mysteries are only granted unto very, very specific people. People don't have access to this. You have to be granted that. The sacred tablets, the emerald tablets, are about astrology, astronomy, mathematics, sacred geometry, healing. There's a lot of things in here that were downloaded, almost like there were just huge amounts of information. So I don't think that in the 2 days or 3 days that it's been, I'm going to be able to tap into all of that and really understand what everything was. But yeah, those, what are they called? Tetrabytes, like bigger than gigabytes. They were downloaded. So I don't want the message to be lost on there wasn't something grand that happened, because there was a lot of healing.
Absolutely.
There was a lot of things that happened here. So with that being said, a lot of things, how about you guys get the kitties, get the husband, get the wives, and why don't we go into testing your psychic abilities with the Apollo Games? Okay, coming into the Apollo Games, where I test Mom with her psychic ability, and all of you guys at home, all of you guys at home tapping into that inner child energy. I'm going to present you a question now, and all you have to do is get it right. And if you get it right, you will get from me, the Oracle of Apollo, a bona fide, certified, uniquely stamped, social distancing high five. All right, so here's the question. And the question today is, what's behind the blanket?
What animal is behind the fabric? Is it elephant, kitty, zebra, lion? Put your comments in the comment section below now.
Okay, everybody. Elephant, kitty, lion, zebra. What is behind the blanket, Mom? Don't even start with, I never get these right. So go ahead and tell me what you think it is. You think it's kitty.
Kitty.
Okay, guys. This is not an interactive experience unless you guys interact. So put in the comment section below what you think it was. It was elephant, kitty, zebra, and lion. Elephant, kitty, zebra, and lion. Put it in the comment section below now. And once we get somebody up here, we'll go ahead and, okay. Erica's, I saw zebra. Husband says lion. Ariella says kitty. All right, fantastic. So let's go over here and see what the answer is.
What animal is behind the fabric? Is it elephant, kitty, zebra, lion? Put your comments in the comment section below now. Reveal time. Did you say elephant?
Social distancing high five for whoever got elephant. Although here on the live stream, I don't see anybody who got it. But don't worry, there's no losers here on Divine Encounters. Just the wrong answer. And thank you, Mom, for being here today. I'm going to put you in the back room, and I'm going to bring you right back up, so don't go anywhere. And you guys know every Wednesday night, I bring you the midweek collective energy check-in. So let's see what's happening for the rest of the week. Okay, coming in for the midweek energy check-in. Let's see what's happening here. I like to start you. Oh my goodness. Start you off with a totem animal. And we have dog. Be disciplined in your home and community life. So look at your surroundings. I feel like this is in alignment earlier with that question that we had with the good news, which was question everything and anything aligned must go. It's like, be honest with yourself here. Be disciplined in your tactic. Dog has been like all around me for the last few weeks. You guys don't even know. And So that is a very important thing. It's all about being loyal to your path, being loyal to yourself, being loyal to your beliefs. You have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations and divine plan. So just the same way, like we said with this dog, and aligning you and being disciplined in your life and allowing yourself to be in alignment, you have this. It's kind of like we're sending you the light. We're aligning you with what you need, what you want, and just make sure that you are surrendering to that divine essence of who you are. Funny thing, we have the Egyptian symbolism back there in the background as well. I think that is pretty awesome. Allowing yourself to surrender is really important, because when we are in that state of surrender is when the purpose unfolds. Oh my goodness, guys, surrender to the divine. Surrender to the divine. How many times are they going to tell us that? We're in a transition. We're transforming. Sit still, be quiet, take rest, child. Allow yourself to intake information. See what aspects of your life don't serve you anymore. We're trying to get ourselves to the highest frequency point, and we have the Fool card here: journey, pathways, and progress. When we see the Fool card here, I want you guys to know in the original tarot, the Fool would have eventually had this little sack, kind of like when you see someone, what's that called? Like a little bag and a stick. I don't know what that would be called. But that bag basically represents you have everything you need inside of you. As the Fool, you may not have real life experience yet, but the divine has given you everything you need for your journey ahead. And all you have to do is take the leap of faith and walk forward. Okay. Release the old and rest. I'm telling you guys, these were all shuffled. This is not something like I put together for show or anything. I know, right? They're so funny. Release the old and rest. So it's very important here this week that the message is, it's time to shift. We're towards the end of the year now, right? This is when we start making plans and having long-term goals, but also making sure that those long-term goals are real, because you're just by sheer will, things don't happen in your life. You have to make daily changes, habits, patterns, beliefs, all have to change before you can accomplish the big picture. So making sure that every single day you're nourishing your soul. I'll give you an example. If you don't eat for one day, you start to get hungry. And but by day 3, you're starving. Your body's shutting down. So now for one day you don't meditate, or you don't sit still, or you don't rest in that space, your soul starts to get hungry. By day 3 of not meditating or not praying or not being still or not seeing yourself within, your soul begins to become malnourished and you start to starve. Okay, so make sure that you're not starving your soul. Make sure that you're sitting still. Make sure that you're allowing for time for this divine influence to come in, paying attention to your dreams, paying attention to the synchronicities, and most importantly, taking the action steps, because it's not enough to know, but you have everything inside of you already. So make sure that you allow that to come forward into the physical, into the tactile. We are being blessed this week with support. Oh my goodness, this is such a funny reading today. We're being blessed with support this week by Angel Celestina, and Angel Casio is blessing us with peace. These are the angel blessings, okay? And to receive these, all you have to do is claim it in the comment section below. Angels respect your free will, and they will never intervene unless you ask them to intervene. So you have to literally ask them to come and help you. Ha 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 ha. I see what spirit did there. I said earlier, I heard the rest of my child and then all these cards for the midweek check-in. I know, that is so funny. I feel the same way. Okay, let's bring Mom back on the screen here. Mom, is there anything you want to add to that or state on that?
No, I'm just glad you had a really good experience and you got your downloads and your healing, which was the most important part. So thanks for having me on tonight.
And thank you for being here. Now, next Wednesday night on my Supernatural Story Time, I'm actually bringing Mom back on, Cindy. I'm bringing her back on next week because by then she just finding that out now. That's why she's making that face. And she's going to tell all of us her story. So I'm not going to let her tell me what happened until we come back next week for part 2 of this now known to her 2-part series. Yes. You claim it. And of course, if you have a supernatural story time you want to share with us, please come on here. Email me at divineencounters@3e360tv. Like, share this feed. It helps us. It helps the planet as a whole, because we're raising the frequency of everybody that's coming in through these doors, proverbial doors. And I really thank you all for being here. Without you guys being here, there'd be no point of making the show. I put all of my love, energy, and effort into this, and I'm just so grateful for all of you guys here today. Divine Encounters is always about creating divine experiences. I hope you guys join me Sunday night when I bring your horoscope blessing predictions for all of next week, for all of your signs at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And as soon as we hang up here, make sure you go like or subscribe, depending on where you're watching. You'll get the notifications when I go on live. But for me, above all else, I ask the universe that you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, to love thyself, but to remember always that the divine has your back.
Your back.
Ciao. Thank you.
Divine encounters are all alive. Divine encounters, our life's design. I am the oracle of Apollo. Come plant your seeds with